Bikki, for with King Jonakr is nourished Svanhild, the daughter of Sigurd Fafnir's bane, and I know for sure that she is the fairest maid dwelling under the sun of this world. Her, above all others, would I have to my wife, and thou shalt go woo her for me.
Randver answered, Meet and right, fair lord, that I should go on thine errands. So the king set forth this journey in seemly wise, and they fare till they come to King Jonakr's abode, and behold Svanhild, and have many thoughts concerning the treasure of her goodliness. But on a day Randver called the king to talk with him, and said, Jormunrek the king would fain be thy brother-in-law, for he has heard tell of Svanhild, and his desire it is to have her to wife, nor may it be shown that she may be given to any mightier man than he is one. The king says, This is an alliance of great honour, for a man of fame he is. Gudrun says,
A wavering trust, the trust in luck, that it change not.
Yet, because of the king's furthering, and all the matters that went herewith, is the wooing accomplished. And Svanhild went to the ship with a goodly company, and sat in the stern, beside the king's son. Then spake Bikki to Randver, How good and right it were, if thou thyself had to wife so lovely a woman, rather than the old man there. Good seemed that word to the heart of the king's son, and he spake to her with sweet words, and she to him in like wise. So they came aland, and go unto the king, and Bikki said unto him, Meet and right it is, lord, that thou shouldst know what is befallen, though hard it be to tell of. For the tale must be concerning thy beguiling, whereas thy son has gotten to him the full love of Svanhild, nor is she other than his harlot. But thou, let not the deed be unavenged. Now many an ill rede had he given the king or this, but of all his ill redes did this sting home the most. And still would the king hearken to all his evil redes. Wherefore he, who might nowise still the wrath within him, cried out that Randver should be taken, and tied up to the gallows tree. And as he was led to the gallows, he took his hawk, and plucked the feathers from off it, and bade show it to his father. And when the king saw it, then he said, Now may folk behold that he deemeth my honour to be gone away from me, even as the feathers of this hawk. And therewith he bade deliver him from the gallows. But in that while had Bikki wrought his will, and Randver was dead slain. And moreover Bikki spake, Against none hast thou more wrongs to avenge thee of than against Svanhild. Let her die a shameful death. Yea, said the king, we will do after thy counsel. So she was bound in the gate of the burg, and horses were driven at her to tread her down. But when she opened her eyes wide, then the horses durst not trample her. So when Bikki beheld that, he bade draw a bag over the head of her, and they did so, and therewith she lost her life. Chapter 42. Now Gudrun heard of the slaying of Svanhild, and spake to her sons. Why sit ye here in peace amid merry words, whereas Jormunrek hath slain your sister, and trodden her under foot of horses in shameful wise? No heart ye have in you like to Gunnar or Hogni. Verily they would have avenged their kinswoman. Hamdir answered, Little didst thou praise Gunnar and Hogni, whereas they slew Sigurd, and thou wert reddened in the blood of him. And ill were thy brethren avenged by the slaying of thine own sons. Yet not so ill a deed were it for us to slay King Jormunrek, and so hard thou pushest us on to this, that we may not abide thy hard words. Gudrun went about laughing now, and gave them to drink from mighty beakers, and thereafter she got for them great burnies and good, and all other weed of war. Then spake Hamdir, Lo now, this is our last parting, for thou shalt hear tidings of us, and drink one grave ale over us and over Svanhild. So therewith they went their ways. But Gudrun went unto her bower, with heart swollen with sorrow, and spake. To 3 men was I wedded, and first to Sigurd Fafnir's bane, and he was bewrayed and slain, and of all griefs was that the greatest grief. Then was I given to King Atli, and so fell was my heart toward him that I slew in the fury of my grief his children and mine. Then gave I myself to the sea, but the billows thereof cast me out of land, and to this king then was I given. Then gave I Svanhild away out of the land with mighty wealth, and lo, my next greatest sorrow after Sigurd, for under horses' feet was she trodden and slain. But the grimmest and ugliest of woes was the casting of Gunnar into the worm-close, and the hardest was the cutting of Hogni's heart from him. Ah, better would it be if Sigurd came to meet me, and I went my ways with him. For here bideth now behind with me neither son nor daughter to comfort me. Oh, mindest thou not, Sigurd, the words we spoke when we went into one bed together, that thou wouldst come and look on me, yea, even from thine abiding place among the dead? And thus had the words of her sorrow an end. Chapter 43. Now telleth the tale concerning the sons of Gudrun, that she had arrayed their war raiment in such wise that no steel would bite thereon, and she bade them play not with stones or other heavy matters, for that it would be to their scathe if they did so. And now, as they went on their way, they met Erp, their brother, and asked him in what wise he would help them. He answered,
Even as hand helps hand, or foot helps foot.
but that they deemed naught at all, and slew him there and then. Then they went their ways. Nor was it long or ever Hamdir stumbled, and thrust down his hand to steady himself, and spake therewith. Naught but a true thing spake Erp, for now should I have fallen, had not hand been to steady me. A little after Surly stumbled, but turned about on his feet, and so stood, and spake. Yea, now had I fallen, but that I steadied myself with both feet. And they said they had done evilly with Erp, their brother. But on they fare till they come to the abode of King Jormunrek, and they went up to him and set on him forthwith. And Hamdir cut both hands from him, and Surly both feet. Then spake Hamdir, Off were the head if Erp were alive, our brother whom we slew on the way, and found out our deed too late. Even as the song says, Off were the head if Erp were alive yet, our brother the bold, whom we slew by the way, the well-famed in warfare. Now, in this must they turn away from the words of their mother, whereas they had to deal with stones. For now men fell on them, and they defended themselves in good and manly wise, and were the scathe of many a man, nor would iron bite on them. But there came thereto a certain man, old of aspect, and one-eyed, and he spake, No wise men are ye, whereas ye cannot bring these men to their end. Then the king said, Give us rede thereto, if thou canst. He said, Fair skuluth berja thou groti I hell. Smite them to the death with stones. In such wise was it done, for the stones flew thick and fast from every side, and that was the end of their life days. And now has come to an end the whole root and stem of the Giukings. Now may all earls